Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to IALA 2021. We are very pleased to welcome you here in the studio in the port of Rotterdam, where we will be broadcasting for the next 5 days. And I'm so excited to have a great online program for you lined up with interesting speakers, keynotes, special guests, and of course, a great platform to explore. My name is Pauline de Wilde, and I will be your general host for the next couple of days. And I will introduce all the chairs that will host sessions with a specific subject. And of course, I know that you're used to meet each other in person during this great symposium. But due to COVID-19, we adapted and we managed to have a great online show for you. Like I said, we have a great platform for you. So let me tell you a little bit about this network app. The network app will be your online meeting place for the 14th IALA Symposium. It works easily via your desktop. And just like a live event, this is actually where everything happens. And also, of course, here in the studio. It's good to know that the network app is 24/7 accessible. And so make use of the platform and the community and start networking right away. Let me introduce a couple of nice features from this network app. The networking lobby. As a moving avatar, you enter the digital networking lobby, and here you see who else is attending. The live stream. Every day between 11 and 2:30 UTC, there will be a live broadcast from this studio with 12 theme sessions in 5 days. Abstracts. You will find a complete book of abstracts for download, and per session, each abstract can be downloaded as well. Posters. There's an overview with submitted posters, and the posters are for download. The video library. All the videos are to be seen here on the platform, such as technical tours. But also, each broadcast session will be uploaded here in the video library. Exhibition and sponsor floor plan. Of course, this year we also have great sponsors, and you can meet them at their sponsor exhibition booth. See what they are showcasing and get in touch. The chat. Of course, you can be in touch with other participants. By clicking on a person's avatar, you can start a chat with this person or make an appointment for a video call. Post a quest for everyone. The exclamation point at the top of your screen allows you to post a quest within the whole online community. Are you looking for something specific for your product or service, or do you have anything to offer? Post a quest and let the audience react to it. And finally, during broadcasting hours, we have a live chat running next to the live stream. So you can post a question to the speaker, but make sure it's a question to a dial-in speaker, because they are the only one that can respond right away. But if you have a question for a pre-recorded session, you can also post your question and we will address it to the appropriate speaker. I think right now it's time to introduce our first guest to you. I am proud to announce that Mrs. Bridget Gijsberg, Director of Maritime Affairs of the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management in the Netherlands and member of the IALA Council for the Netherlands, is here with me to officially open IALA 2021. Mrs. Gijsberg, welcome.
Thank you very much, Pauline.
How are you feeling while opening this great online event?
I'm very proud that it is possible, although we would have loved to have all the participants here in Rotterdam, but I'm proud that we can do it in an online event, and we have a marvelous program, so it will be a great week, I'm sure.
And why is it so important that we really do this, that it will happen, this symposium, the 14th edition?
Well, both VTS and e-navigation are very important topics from the whole IALA scheme, and it is for sure that we need to speak about maritime safety, about efficiency, about connectivity, to make sure that maritime shipping is safe around the world. So we can get a lot of knowledge through this week with 45 speakers. So it will be a very interesting week, I'm sure.
Yeah, and because there are so many things happening in the world, also in this industry, that we need to stay up to date, of course.
Absolutely.
And are you proud that we, as the Netherlands, are hosting this from the Port of Rotterdam?
Yes, well, of course. Rotterdam is a maritime city, and the Netherlands is one of the founding fathers or mothers of IALA. So it's great to have the symposium here this year.
And we'll be broadcasting here for 5 days with great sessions, of course. What do you hope that the participants get out of this by Friday, let's say?
I hope that it will be an interactive symposium, and that's of course difficult in the way that we have to work at the moment, with not the participants around in the same meeting room. But still, with the network app, it is possible to have chats and to ask your questions. So I hope that it will be a vivid event.
And I think by now everybody is a little bit more used to connecting by the internet, by the platform. So let's hope that we really have nice connections and video calls and make the most out of it. That's up to you to make the most out of it. Thank you. Let's take a look at the welcome speech of our Dutch Minister of Infrastructure and Water Management, Mrs. Cora van Nieuwenhuizen.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm virtual welcome from the Netherlands. Unfortunately, I can't welcome you in person, but we're fortunate that the IALA symposium can be held online and is being broadcast live from a studio in my hometown of Rotterdam, the maritime gateway to Europe. It's late in the day for some of you, and early in the morning for others. But wherever you are, we've come together to talk about improving the safety of maritime shipping. And this is an important issue. And many people would say that I'm stating the obvious. But when something goes wrong, we realize it's also a lot of hard work. Think of the Ever Given that got stuck in the Suez Canal. One ship gets grounded and the whole world feels the consequences. Maritime shipping transports 90% of goods traded globally. And this volume continues to grow, despite the pandemic. So shipping lanes everywhere are getting busier. And that's not only because there are more ships, but also because more and more offshore wind farms are being built along shipping routes. So ensuring safe shipping makes greater demands of us. Rapid and reliable technologies for navigation and communication are increasingly important in boosting safety at sea. Technology offers us tremendous opportunities. We're currently testing the feasibility of maritime autonomous surface ships, MAS, for instance. Could vessels be piloted, towed or moored, at least in part, by computers instead of people? We're still learning how data can help us make maritime shipping safer. At the same time, these technologies are changing the sector. Maritime safety and cybersecurity are increasingly two sides of the same coin. In short, there are major challenges which you will be discussing this week. Discussions that I'm proud that the Netherlands is hosting, because we are a nation of seafarers and go-getters. So we're keen to tackle the challenges facing international maritime shipping. Despite the distance, I hope that the spirit of Rotterdam, the gateway to Europe, will inspire you during this symposium to work together and make maritime shipping safer. I wish you every success.
There was nice words from Mrs. van Nieuwenhuizen. And when that happened with the Ever Giving last week, and I was preparing this, I felt the urgency of what we're dealing with, right?
Yes, for sure. Only you should know that there are 60 huge ships, container ships, here in front of Rotterdam to go into the port, and there are only 3-4 terminals which have to handle these ships. So you can imagine that what the effect of one ship stuck into the Suez Canal is worldwide.
Yeah, it's a big challenge.
Yeah.
And are you as well from Rotterdam?
No, I'm not living here. I've worked in Rotterdam, but I'm living in The Hague.
Oh, okay, good. Well, that's close by. I'm from Amsterdam. So let's take a look and have an impression of Rotterdam. Impressive, huh?
Spectacular. Don't try this at home.
Did you ever free run in your life?
No.
No?
No way.
You're not going to try it as well. Okay, Mr. Arjan van Geels, our Vice Mayor of the City of Rotterdam, Alderman for Port, Finance, Organization and Large Projects, would also like to say a warm welcome to everybody around the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome here in Rotterdam. I'm here in the City Hall, beautiful City Hall of Rotterdam. We are very proud to have this conference here in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam. But we're very sorry that due to COVID-19 restrictions, it's not possible to have you here in our beautiful city. So it will be a very important but online meeting and conference. I think it's very important to have this conference in which manufacturers, training institutes, government, port authorities meet, share their experiences and cooperate in the developments in this area. And these developments are very important to make progress. Technology, digitalization move forward very strong. And they offer new opportunities to make new standards on navigation. But therefore, it's necessary to have these standards in a short while accepted and common standard all over the world. Then the manufacturers can work with it and on it to improve these things. I'd like to mention an important initiative in which Korea, Japan, China, Singapore, Rotterdam, Denmark, Norway and Finland are cooperating on standards of autonomous surface ships. They cooperation bring forward new standards in which we need to make it possible to do this kind of developments and really practice the new way of navigation in the short term. I wish you a wonderful conference in the next coming days, and I hope to meet you somewhere where the COVID-19 restrictions are gone, really live in this beautiful city. Have a good time. Thank you.
Yeah, there was it. What is it that you miss most in this COVID period?
Well, the contact with people.
Yeah.
And it's very
the real
clear.
like we're having right now.
Yeah, like we are
Although
having right now. That's the first time since a year I've been in such a setting. So
yeah, nice,
everybody is
it
working
feels
from
good.
home. So that it's really the contact with your staff members, with colleagues, with.
I mean, we can communicate online, but it's just a little bit different. The body
also
language.
For the international meetings, it is quite hard. We have our council meetings, Francis, and it is quite hard to do that online because normally lots of work is done outside of the meeting during the drinks and lunches, etc.
Yeah. Well, this is what we're doing right now. So, and you are already pointing because we have a guest in the studio, Mr. Francis Zakaria, Secretary General of IALA. Welcome. Yeah, you began your work as Secretary General in 2015. You joined the Royal Danish Naval Academy after leaving high school. You've been working internationally for the Ministry of Defense and the European Union. And in 2006, you came back to the Naval Academy, this time as a commandant. And what makes the maritime world so interesting to you, Francis?
Oh, you know, I'm from Denmark, and Denmark is completely surrounded by the sea. So the maritime sector is very, very important to us. And I've worked in the maritime sector all my life, and I've seen how important maritime transportation is to all sectors in the whole world. So it's very obvious and nice place to work.
And now you're living in France, in Paris. What brought you to France?
Oh,
the love?
Not love, but I brought my love.
Oh, okay, good. From Denmark?
From Denmark, yeah. But no, of course, the fantastic opportunity to lead IALA brought me to Paris. For the second time. I've been here before, many years ago.
Okay.
And my wife and I, we love Paris. It's simply a beautiful city, and it's very nice to live there.
Good. Well, Mr. Zakaria, you are going to give a presentation, so the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Pauline. Thank you. Well, Minister, Secretary General, Deputy Director General, Vice Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 14th Symposium on Vessel Traffic Services and E-Navigation in Rotterdam, the largest port and maritime hub in Europe. I could not think of a better place for hosting this symposium. As a maritime nation, the Netherlands has gained knowledge and experience in shipping, logistic transport, port development, mariner skills, and the advancement of safety of navigation over many centuries. Furthermore, as a vulnerable coastal state bordering one of the most extensively used sea areas in the world, the country is a world leader in maritime spatial planning for the benefit of protection of the environment and the harmonious and expeditious conduct of multiple activities at sea. These are all aspects of a combined VTS and e-navigation effort. They are closely connected, and in IALA we consider VTS as the front office of e-navigation in many aspects. It is 5 years since the previous symposium took place in Kuala Lumpur, and I have no doubt that there will be even more things to discuss at this symposium, and that it will be just as successful even though it is a virtual one due to the pandemic and the consequent health situation. The Netherlands, Brigitte, can be truly proud of its efforts to host this symposium at such a high standard of pre-planning, organizational logistics, and especially flexibility in this very challenging situation. I and my colleagues in the IALA Secretariat are truly grateful to the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management for the excellent and generous support with regard to the wide array of practical matters involved in organizing an international event of this size during a pandemic. I would like specifically to mention the hard work done by Mr. Martin Berrevoets and his team with strong support from you, Brigitte, who is also a counselor in IALA. I would also like to thank the steering group and especially the chairs of the VTS and ENAV committee, Ms. Monica Sundcliffe and Commander Hideki Neguchi, for their support and hard work. I feel particularly honored that the Minister has created time in her busy schedule to be with us today. I thank her for that, and I truly enjoyed her address. I also wish to thank the IHO Secretary General, Dr. Matthias Jonas, for having agreed to present the keynote address, as well as all his and IHO support to IALA over many, many years. We took the difficult decision to postpone the symposium 1 year to be sure that we could be physical together and meet again face-to-face here in Rotterdam. Now we are here 1 year later, and this is the first travel I've made since March 2020, and we are still all living under the restriction of the pandemic. For IALA, this has been a challenge. Each of the 4 IALA committees have met remotely once again during March and April in accordance with the established procedures. These innovative working arrangements have proved remarkably effective, and more than 550 attendees from all around the world and sister organizations have logged on to our virtual platform. This success is a great tribute to the flexibility of the IALA membership, and I would like to thank all of you for your tremendous efforts and work in the well-known spirit of IALA. This spirit will also assure the success of this first ever virtual symposium. I'm very pleased that the popular industrial exhibition is taking place virtually, and I wish to welcome and thank all the exhibitors and industrial members for their support and splendid efforts to bring such a good show here to Rotterdam. I would encourage everybody to take full advantage of the opportunity to visit the exhibition on your screen and see firsthand what world leaders in research and technology development and manufacturers of equipment have achieved in the VTS and e-navigation arena. The symposium's chosen theme of enhanced maritime safety and efficiency by connectivity appropriately address the importance of maritime digital transformation for the future efficiency and safety of navigation. This is indeed reflected in the decision to hold a combined VTS and e-navigation symposium. As VTS centers draw increasingly on the capabilities of e-navigation, this development is driving ongoing work within IALA in close coordination with the International Maritime Organization the International Hydrographic Organization, and others on the shore-based maritime services in the context of e-navigation and its global and harmonized implementation. The symposium's carefully selected technical program focuses on the increasingly availability and the use of new information and communication technologies and the unprecedented opportunities these technologies provide for enhanced real-time interaction and information sharing between ships and shore-based authorities. Together with the associated industrial exhibition, this symposium provides an ideal global forum for review and discussion among peers on ongoing research and development, lessons learned from the implementation of testbeds, practical technology applications and their training implications, as well as involving H navigation and VTS developments in different parts of the world. The benefits of so many different interest groups in an international context and with a cooperative spirit is all the more significant if we consider that promoting vessel traffic services serves our common interest and common goal of streamlining standards and harmonizing practices. This can only be good for the principal users of VTS, the mariners at sea, as represented by the multinational and multicultural crews working in the service of ocean transportation. Seafarers need a harmonized approach to VTS standards and practices, and increasingly also of e-navigation. Ladies and gentlemen, I would encourage you all to take advantage of all the technical online features provided by the organizers and to be active in the question and answer sessions in order to contribute with your own knowledge, expertise, insights to the listening and learning event that a symposium of this kind entails. The importance of sharing information and knowledge has always been in the heart of IALA and has made its technical work possible. Once more, thanking our host, the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management, and not least, all of you participants for joining us. I will conclude now my welcome address and wish you all a fruitful, successful, and enjoyable symposium. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pauline.
Thank you, Mr. Zachary. That's very, very kind and nice words. Is there something specific that you're looking forward to this week? Because I'm sure that you will follow a lot of sessions also, or what is it that you're looking forward to that we're doing this?
Like Brigitte, I look forward to see all my wonderful friends from all around the world, even if it's on the screen. Yeah. But I will use the app. I've already used the app to chat with many of my good friends. So I will try as much as I can to interact with all the participants in the symposium. I look forward to that. Nice. I look more forward to seeing them.
Yeah, I can imagine. But you were lucky because you were able to travel now to the Netherlands.
It's been very exciting for me to book a hotel for the first time in a year.
In a year. Well, normally you do it maybe every couple of weeks.
I traveled a lot before, yes.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going to change, of course. Is there something that you would like to react to, Mr. Zachariah?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank the Secretariat and you yourself for helping us to organize this and setting up such a good program. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice cooperation going on here already at the table.
Very good.
Yeah, so thank you for being here. We will have a dial-in connection with our next guest, Mr. Matthias Jonas, Secretary General of International Hydrographic Organization, IHO. Dr. Matthias Jonas, being a mariner, has been involved in integrated navigation matters since the beginning of the 90s and has completed the world's first technical certification of an electric car display and information system in 1999. Welcome, Mr. Matthias Jonas. And yes, that's where you are.
Yeah, there I am. Yeah, I was watching you already.
Oh, good. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. I mean, a number of my predecessors alluded to the principal problem of not being personally together, and indeed, this is the challenge of our time to create this spirit now virtually. And I'm in particular glad that you allow me to share my thoughts of e-navigation state of play. This is a subject which we share with the IALA since many, many years. And I used to say hydrography is doing everything to make it happen under the surface, the water surface, whereas IALA is doing the rest, the big rest on the surface and along the shore, of course.
But we need each other, of course.
Oh, very much
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So is there anything that you would like to add, or would you like to start your presentation?
Yeah, Francis, we are fellows for long already. So, and he already presented a wealth of subjects covered by this symposium, and I would really love to get the full band of inspiration from that. So I will see if my time allows to join in from time to time over a week. But with that, I would love to start with my presentation, if you agree.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I must say I particularly welcome the overarching motto of the symposium with a dedicated focus on the term connectivity. And I checked Merriam-Webster for the generic definition of connectivity, and that says the quality, state, or capability of being connective or connected, and especially the ability to connect to or communicate with another computer or computer system. And I understand this is not our connectivity, it is the connectivity between computers. And saying this, that suggests to me that this is a category of data exchange. And data exchange, indeed, between ships and ship and shore, that has been identified as crucial for e-navigation right from the start. And we all know from our shore-based experience how digitization of information exchange has revamped all processes of our professional tasks and our private communication, if you want. And this process included all industrial spheres. But for a number of years, shipping seemed to me, at least, on a much lower pace in changes induced by this uptake of information exchange. And the evident reason for me was the lack of broadband connectivity at sea. Shipborne broadband communication, or read internet at sea, has not been a real reality until 5 years ago. That has completely changed. So I was told by shipping companies now that 30 gigabyte of downlink volume is an average requirement per month. Costs are accepted. It is true that not all of the existing satellite services can offer this level of service on all edges of the globe, but there are new solutions envisioned to come, low orbit, geostationary, and we will see a lot of change in that. So broadband connectivity at sea will now really become a payable reality. What does this have to do with e-navigation? Oh, that's one too much. I don't know why. All right. The IMO's e-navigation definition clearly addresses two partnered areas. It is basically onboard connection to a shore connection by electronic means. And if I cross-check that against the announcement of this event, then I see that you advertise with the advent of modern vessel traffic services and the implementation of marine services under the e-navigation concept. I think this advert delivers a good opportunity for us to review how the relations between the interconnected partners on board and ashore have been developed since the inception of the e-navigation program, believe it or not, in 2005. So what are seafarers expecting from that? So seafarers would expect that systems become more user-friendly, intuitive, would reduce, not increase, the mariners' workload, and would facilitate situation awareness and error prevention and detection. And the way forward would at that time be seen in a higher integration of the diversity of navigational devices, continued reception of up-to-date information, and reliable, easy to use bidirectional communication. That was the expectation from those who are at sea. Unfortunately, we must say that this has not become a reality so far. Reality, I was told from experts in the field, is there is a tendency for a greater diversity of navigation devices based on less cost off-the-shelf software and hardware. And Voyage Data Recorder and Actis are good examples for that. The level of integration of these devices is often quite low, as smaller suppliers cannot maintain high level of software and hardware maintenance services. Cybersecurity is another matter of big concern for shipping companies. They are reluctant to allow remote access for software maintenance for vulnerable components. And in my observation, the IMO regulation in place for that are not prepared for this state of technology, and to my observation, do not force here a quick change. All in all, not a perfect prerequisite to induce new maritime services, which require high integration, smart user interfaces, and matured procedures for continued maintenance of those devices on ships' bridges. So the second party, and this is more the domain of IALA, I think, national waterways administrations and harbor authorities were expecting something different from e-navigation. A greater role in ships navigation for shoreside authorities, so to speak. And their aim is to identify key elements of eNav, which include enhanced vessel traffic management from the shore. That is going to happen, but it has initially been planned as a global top-down approach. And what it has become is, in my observation, a regional grassroots development. Selected ports, operators, and waterway manager in Rotterdam, Port of Rotterdam is a very good example for that, have already set up smart but regional solutions to manage sea traffic digital and use broadband communication for this. And this is all nice and promising, but how to bring this development back into a global framework? That's my big question on you and the symposium. And thirdly, and one of the pre-speakers alluded to this already, IMO has started to work on an all-encompassing master plan for autonomous marine transportation. And no question, shore-based operation and traffic management is compelled here, absolutely. And autonomy at sea is no longer a vision, a far dream. And the hydrographic domain I represent is the best example for. Autonomous carriers for hydrographic tasks are already available and working. They do the 3D operation in dull, dangerous, or dirt areas. And the win for us is extended survey coverage done faster and cheaper with swarm survey. So, as you can see, hydrographers of the world are excited about this. But even that, and one of the pre-speakers mentioned that as well, even that comes up not really as a part of a greater plan at this stage. There are local initiatives of early adopters, many of them sitting in Far East. So in anticipation of the progress of IMO's e-navigation initiatives, and one could ask if there's still a need for a top-down approach, or do we let all blossoms grow for a while before intervening for the sake of standardization? That's the strategic question I have. My impression is that time has now come for standardization. Shipping industry, as the most globalized industry, has always insisted on global solutions. and the equal change of the equal challenge of sustainable treatment of marine resources force us to concerted action in any case. But maybe it's also time to go back to the initial idea of e-navigation and balancing the aim of the partners on board and ashore. And such a balance is related to the quality and the state of being connected. And we are back to connectivity with that. And I have 5 theses on the quality and the state of being connected for you. So the first observation is that for as far as we can look into the future, internet at sea will never be as stable as ashore. And it remains a centralized concept of local data replication at the vessel to give decision support. And for a number of good reasons, such increasing density of traffic, efficiency in routing and port operation, mixed scenarios of controlled and autonomous ships, and many others, VTS will play an emergent role in remote decision support towards a model known from aviation and mainly focused, in my view, to congested situations. Unfortunately, broadband data exchange is also a gateway for manipulation of the critical technical components. Data security and prevention of cyber threats is crucial. Bridge equipment is often a collection of poorly integrated single devices delivered by different manufacturers and maintained with varying quality. This is a problem we have to face in the implementation phase of any eNav solution. Higher integration and consistency of the onboard navigation landscape is a precondition to elevate ship and shore interaction to the next level. As a consequence of what I've said before. So, but I don't want to criticize the situation only. I like to come up with ideas how to act. So the first observation I have, we should have mandatory regulations for software maintenance regime for navigation and utility equipment safeguarded by life cycle contracts with OEMs. So far, the mechanism of IMO is only guidance, and I think this is too weak. We should have regulatory compliance through strict type approval procedures. And as a formal type approval man, I can confirm that this can really help a lot to receive compliance of onboard equipment. And that's not limited to hardware as in the past. The same level of care should be given to software maintenance. As I said, we have local and regional solutions already, and I think it would be really wise to adopt the experiences gained with that best practice for global solutions, not reinventing everything which has been successfully tried out already on some places. And we should anticipate the uptake of mixed traffic situations. So that seems to me a challenge in itself, to have a mix of autonomous shipping and controlled shipping, as I name that. And I think the key for that is VTS. There are 3 actions I propose which belong to the domain of the IHO: global standardization of data model and distribution format. We help to motivate national administrations, regional and international frameworks to set up harmonized baseline data provisions to feed those next level marine services, and the development and application of strong, and I repeat, strong data encryption technology and other preventive measures against cyber threat. That is the challenge of our time. So, and I do not only propose, I also give my best that IHO delivers. So from standards to services is our program for the running decade, a consistent data model, machine interpreted quality indicators, because we must understand that autonomy means that machines talk with machines, and smart data encryption to avoid manipulation. My studies of your program indicate that most, if not all, of those topics addressed in your deliberations. I would think you agree with me that finally it is almost all about connectivity, and that tells me there is a guarantee for success on your symposium. Thank you for your audience.
Thank you, Mr. Jonas, for your clear presentation. I always like it when people drop challenges, but also give possibilities to act, their solutions, yeah. Mr. Zakaria, would you like to react on the presentation of Mr. Jonas?
I would say thank you very much to the Secretary General. It was a very, very good start, the first presentation here. And I think Dr. Jonas pointed at three very, very important points. The first one was connectivity,
yes,
which is prerequisite for e-navigation. Simply, could you imagine that you had no Wi-Fi?
No.
Your life would stop almost. And that is more or less the fact at sea. We still miss cheap broadband connectivity at sea, so that's a main challenge, and we have to solve that. And the other one is a good business case. Dr. Jonas mentioned the user friendliness. We need to have a good business case. It's not only for the enjoyment of the engineers and developers. It needs to be user-friendly, and the mariners at sea need to see benefits from e-navigation solutions. And the last one is really an important one. That is the worldwide harmonization of the technical solutions. We see so many regional excellent test beds and solutions. We heard the Vice Mayor here in Rotterdam pointed at a big project with northern part of Europe, and that is excellent, but it needs to be worldwide harmonized solutions. And that is something that IALA works extremely hard on, because that needs to be done by the international organizations.
But what is needed to make progress in these three issues?
Well, one of the building stones could be the S100 system.
Okay.
It's very technical, but you will hear much more about that during the week
Sessions,
here. Yeah. S100 is developed in the IHO, and we work closely with IHO on developing this S100 with its data standards for the worldwide community. So we need these global standards, because the shipping is global, the mariners go all around the world, and we need the same solutions no matter where they come.
And is it also cooperating with different industries?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need standard solutions that the industry can use when they produce the equipment, and the mariners' education, everything.
Yeah. Nice. Anything that you would like to react to this nice presentation?
The global harmonization and standardization is absolutely important, because otherwise you get developments in the Far East, in Europe, and in all parts of the world, and it does not connect to each other. So that's very important. And there's also a task for IHO, IMO, IALA to work together very closely, because you need the system on shore, you need the system on board, you need the mariners to work with them, so that's very important.
But I can assume that it also has to do with different cultures in all the different countries and the different pace that every country has, right?
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that with so many worldwide operating systems?
Well, IALA is very important in that.
Yeah.
For instance, the Worldwide Academy helps countries who are, starting up in their development in VTS, but also those countries who are much further and working already to develop e-navigation. And you have to make sure, and these symposia are very important for that, is that we learn from each other, that we make sure that all the knowledge which is available is there for everyone, so that's important.
That we're not doing it on our own island, that we're really cooperating with the whole world. Yeah. Well, we have a lot of sessions coming up the next couple of days. What do you expect of this week?
Well, lots of speakers, 45 speakers, more than 45 speakers. We have also, because normally it is these symposia is not only listening to speeches, but also to have a view. So we have some nice technical tours also on your network app. We have posters. We couldn't make use of everybody who would like to do a speech, so we have asked other people to send in a poster. You can find them also on your network app. An exhibition, of course. The industry is very important, well, you can work on the network app for 24/7 a day, so that's great. So everybody can watch in his own time when it's convenient for you. So that's
and they can set up meetings with each other for a video call, or I mean, we are in different time zones, but so you can set up a meeting on the network app. Yeah, we're looking forward to as well. And you will be back at the end of the week on Friday with the closing ceremony. We have another chat, and then we'll see how much wiser we have become, of course. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Jonas for joining us on the first day and the first session. It was great to have you here. Mr. Zakaria, thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed your little travel within this year. I hope you can travel a little bit sooner. Yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you for being my partner in opening this great show. And I would also like to we will be back at 12 for the first session, but I would also say thank you to all the sponsors, because of course they make it happen. So please take a look at the platform. And like Mrs. Gijsbers also said, there are so many things to explore on the platform: networking, posters, video library. There's a lot to do, but not during the live broadcast, because then of course you're checking in with us here in the studio. So thanks again, and we'll be back at 12 UTC time. Thank you.